Am Bereshit bara Elohim et Hashemayim va'et haaretz. This is what we're studying, my brothers. This is what we're looking at. And this is what we are searching. We are in a hunt. We are looking at Genesis 1:1, and we're trying to see some secrets that's locked up in there. So the last time we finished, I wonder what we did the last time. I'm trying to remember. Now, if I can remember, I can't imagine you. That's why, the reason why in front of here you hardly have here is because of that. I'm trying to remember. I'm scratching there. And I know you're trying to do the same. So we spoke about the 28 letters that it has in this particular verse, and we said that we spoke about Koach, the Koach, the power to is the abilities of God, or the ability that God placed inside of you, so that you can take the spiritual and turn it natural. Yes? Turn it into the natural. You can see a dream, you can see a vision, and you say that can become my reality. And so we are just using what God says. We just sucking it up. And so today is another day. I know you got some of that, and I know you also did that that finger thing, what you call it again? What do you call it? Hit the button. Subscribe. I'm looking at you right now. Come on, hit it. Call a friend. Subscribe. You see that? It's red. Subscribe. Subscribe. I'm checking you out. But it's good. After you have subscribed, now let's go. Call a friend. Tell a friend. Now, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing how this Genesis goes. And in order to know where we are, go back to the last session we did. So, Bereshit bara Elohim et Hashemayim va'et haaretz. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and we said it is 28 letters, 7 words, but 1 verse. So let's go. This is again amazing. So, Bereshit bara Elohim et Hashemayim va'et haaretz. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So we spoke of before. We mentioned what we mentioned. We mentioned Koach. So we spoke about Koach, but now I want us to go a little deeper. Remember what we said about Koach? God gave you a dream. You have a dream. There's a reason why you came to the earth, and that reason is to bring something from heaven to earth. And how do you do that? God, He made you specifically. He made the man, the hook, and the nail. So He says, you know what happened? You're going to bring heaven's reality into earth space. So you say, okay, I'm going to bring heaven to earth. You remember what happened? You remember Yeshua in heaven, and He came to earth. The same thing. Heaven to earth. There's a dream. Yeshua also came because of a dream, because of words. He said, you know what? It is written of me in your book, I am come to do thy will. So it is also written of you. You is written of. Do you know that the Bible spoke about you? He wrote about you. And as a matter of fact, in Psalms 139, God wrote your biography. Oh, that's interesting. The one who cannot lie, who sees the future, He wrote everything about you before you came on the earth. So this is the reality we are trying to bring. There's something written about you in a book that preceded you, and because it preceded you, God is giving you some glimpse into it. And as He give you a glimpse into it, you're now saying, I can do it, but it looks impossible. So what He says, you know what? The first thing I do in creation, I hid in creation in the first verse 28 letters that means Koach. It represents ability, capability, the supernatural abilities of God, the same as in the book of Acts 1:8, that you receive power, you receive dunamis, which is again is like koach. I am going to do something. This is abilities that God has given to us because we are able to take something invisible and make it visible. That's the power of the koach. So we went through Koach and we thank God for it. We thank God for you that there are some dreams that you have been speaking about with God. You say, oh God, this is the dream. This is what you showed me. This is what you showed me. And a lot of persons, they have gone through this life with a whole lot of dreams without realizing them. They didn't know that the reason why God showed them that particular thing, or God put that conviction in their heart, is because he has already given to them Koach. Koach is available, the ability, capability of God to bring the supernatural, or bring the invisible into the visible. Make the invisible visible. Make the supernatural natural. Make it a natural happening, a natural, something that is within your custom. I'm accustomed with that, like faith. I'm accustomed with that. So we have the Koach, and we move from Koach today. We are moving from Koach because, again, as I said, Koach and dunamis, you will receive the power, you will receive ability, you will receive natural and supernatural abilities to do the dream that God, or the dream that preceded you. There's a dream that God made of you. As a matter of fact, the fact that you are here is because God already wrote everything about your destiny. You have a destiny. And in order to fulfill the destiny, God says, I give you Koach, the ability to fulfill it. And we say it again in Acts 1:8. It is what? It is dunamis. Again, from duna, the ability, capability of God. We also look, I made a blunder before, but here it is. Philippians chapter 4 and verse 13. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. And I love it because it's Koach. He says that strengthens me. I can do all things. Why? I can do all things with what? The power that strengthens me. That's that power, that strengthened there is in dunamis. What do you mean by that? It means that he gives me the ability and the capability. I can do it. What do you mean? Any dream that God says is yours can become a reality because he has given you all the material to do it, and he has also given you the koach, the ability to do it. And not only the ability to do it, but he also has fixed some other persons that you call destiny helpers, and they're going to come because you are here. The fact that you are here, it means that your purpose is ready. It means that whatever God is showing you need to become a reality in this life. And what he gave to you to do it? Dunamis. What he gave to you to do it? Koach. Genesis 1:1 is a verse that says, this is Koach. What is Koach in the context? God said. No, sorry. I must confess to you that verse God never spoke. In that verse, God never spoke. I've seen somebody looking at me, but I'm telling you, when I said that, I said God never spoke. It says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth by the Shibara Elohim et Hashemayim. And then it said, the earth without form, void, darkness upon the face of the deep. And then the Spirit of God moved. And then God said. Later on, he said, I'm just having somebody getting some trouble here. So, of course, he created, the whole world is created by speech, but this is interesting. As you look at that verse does not have speech in it. God just created, exudes, it just came out of him. Let's just put it that way. I am here to provoke you. That's why I'm here to provoke you. Because that verse is speaking about something even greater than creation. It's speaking about greater than formation. It's speaking about God, the very presence of, and God. In the beginning, God, what God did, created the heavens and the earth. How? It didn't say, but then you start seeing speech. So speech came out, but if you look at the verse and analyze it well, of course it's by speech. But here we go. Bereshit bara Elohim et Hashemayim va'et haaretz. And the reason why we're speaking about speech is because within that same verse you have creation, the whole of creation, all of creation, the 7 days of creation. Why? Because the very verse is made out of 28 letters, but 7 words. And the 7 words would be, it's interesting, the 7 words would be what? What are the 7 words? The 7 days, 6 days to create, and 1 day to rest. God, he locks it right there. He locks 7 days I create, 1 day I rest. The same thing with Koach. Koach is that I am able, God says, you know what? Go ahead, work 6 days, and the 7 rest. The 7 rest. Koach. Koach points to working, finishing the work, and resting. Go right ahead. Should I go more? Yes. 7 days. 7 days. You say 7 days? Why? You say, yes, 7 days. Because if you look at Bereshit, bara, sheet, we would see 6 there. Shesh. We would see 6. Created in 6. We can use that first word by say Bereshit to say created in 6. So in 6 days, he did the creation. But why 7? Because the 7 is completion, rest. So in the Koach points to working, using your abilities to transform the earth, to transform the dirt into value-added product. And after you added value product, it says, 6 days, the 7 is 7. So this, guess what? Rest. It actually introduces the days, and it says to rest. Koach. Koach. God says, I give you a dream. I give you a vision. I brought you into this world. I give you the supernatural abilities to do what you came to. Now, I reveal to you. This is God's revelation. God comes up and he gives you a revelation. He says, now you are 49. Now you are 75. Now you are 100. And then God comes up and he said, this is what I revealed to you. This I'm revealing. I'm going to give you a son. Abraham, I give you a son. Oh, no, God is impossible. Everything is dead. Koach. It is first heavenly, and then it works on the earth. It is first heavenly, and then works on the earth. This is what God is saying, that I have given you the end of the thing. 7. Perfection. You have reached. You can use your ability to make what you saw, that house, a reality. Because all the material in your dream is here on the earth. You can make that business that you dreamt of a reality. Because you have the Koach. All the clients that you need, they are here on the earth already for that business. All the money to buy is already here. This is what the verse is saying. The verse is saying that God has given you abilities, but he has given you a purpose. And those abilities follow behind that purpose. And Koach is the power to realize every dream, every purpose of God for your life. That's what it is. But I have a short time to explain something. The verse is made out of seven words. 7 words, 7 points to rest. And I love that. 7 points to complete rest. Did I say that again? 7. Oh, I'm getting it. 7 points to rest. Shabbat. And when you say it points to rest, the question would be, whose rest? Shabbat is God's rest. And then he introduces us, he invites us into his rest. So in other words, We rest in his rest. Ooh. I have 6 days to use my Koach to transform the world. And I have the 7th day to rest in the one that rested. Oh, come on. Oh, Anybody here with me? I know you're jumping up somewhere there and spinning on your head while you're listening to me. But this is it. What did God say? I have given you all the ability already to do my purpose. I've given it to you. It's yours. It's yours. Genesis 1:1 is saying that God said, before I could create any other thing, listen up, I created. So in other words, that verse speaks of everything about creation. Come on, I'm watching some people around me, but they can't say anything. You know that. They want to jump up and they want to spin on their heads, but they can't spin on their heads. That verse, before you saw God speaking in Genesis 1:1, he created everything in that same verse. Everything finished. Finish, according to Nigerian man. Finish. He finished. He finished up all of creation. And then he spoke. So this is from the inside of God. He said, you know what happened? 7, perfection. I'm bringing you into perfection. But the end is finished from the beginning. Let me say it again. The end is finished from the beginning. The end is finished from the beginning. Why am I saying this and I'm repeating it to you? It's because whatever God told you that you're going to do is really finished. He just wants you to start. But it's finished. You are starting from the end. Bereshit bara Elohim et Hashemayim va et aedis. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Just right there. He created it. It's finished. It's finished. It's Koach. It's finished. It's finished. It is your turn. So now again, we go right back to the 7. How do you understand? How do we understand the 7? 7 is Zion. And Zion, you have a Zion there. The 7 is Zion. And Zion is a letter that has a Yud on top of it. Okay? So the Vav, which represents the man, has a Yud on top of it, has the name of God on it. The Zion, which is the 7, also has a Yud on top of it. It's a letter that has a Yud on top of it. We get a Zion. Look at that. You had a Vav there. Look at the Zion. You see in the Zion? Look at the Zion. The Zion almost look like the Vav. It almost. I said almost, not most, but almost. Oh, come, yes. Do I have it here? Oh, yes. Zion. Let me see if I have it. Zion. I have the Zion. But the Vav decided to take a ride. But this is the Zion. And the Zion is the 7th letter. And the Zion, what is the Zion? The Zion is a sword. It means to cut. It's perfection, but remember the Shabbat is the cutoff. So this is the Zion and this is the Vav. The man is represented by the Vav. He has a Yud on top of him. And here the Zion also as a sword has a Yud on top. Both of them carry the name of God on top of them. So the center of the seven represents God, and it represents cut off, it represents perfection. In other words, there's no perfection without cutting off. Oh, let me say that again. There's no perfection without a cutoff. And so here, there's a cutoff, and the Zion is a sword. So the Zion, the seven, he says, this is the end of that creation. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Koach, seven, rest, perfection. All of that he's saying. And the both of them is represented. So Vav represents the man, and Zion also represents the man. But how does Zion represent the man? Cut off. Rest. Okay. Both of them use the name of the Lord for cut off. Shabbat is when you actually enter into the name of the Lord. So here's the Zion, and it represents some very interesting things. I just want to mention one or two of what it is. The Zion is like a fish, like dog in Hebrew, the fish, which represents multiplication, represents abundance. It means to melt. It's the melting pot. I'm melting into this thing. It means to vanish also. It also means to annihilate. It is also a royal title for the Amalekites. What again? It is actually, it means will, it means choice, it means desire. The will, the choice, and the desire. So all of this we can say, oh, this is what God is doing. This is what God is saying. And what is seven? Seven is the fourth prime number. What do you mean by that? It's the fourth prime. What is four? Dalit. And Dalit is a door, and it's a door to every direction. So here it is how God does it. He's seven. Seven is referring to some things that has to do with all of creation. It encompasses all of creation. Everything that God wants to do, He's saying, you know what happened? This is my prime. It's only divisible by one, which is me, and itself. This is interesting. Hear what God is saying, that my intention in creation, because again it means to melt. God says, I melt myself into you. Hello. When I see you, I melt. I see you tell a girl that. When I see you, I melt. You say that to your wife. I see you, I melt. Melt away. So the Zion, which is the seven, is the cutoff. And what is he saying? What about when someone commit a sin against you? What is the Zion? The Zion is cut off. But the Zion is first cut off from work. Am I right? It is first a cut off from work. And the work there, it has to do, the kala, has to do with what? Has to do with the bride. So all in this, God says, I'm going to use my name for a separation. I'm going to use my name like the sword. But I'm also going to use my name for an accessing of heaven. I'm going to use my name, and here it is. On the seventh day, you're all mine. You're all in me. So I'm going to use my name, the cutting off. You cut yourself off from work for this, for me. Let me say it again, for me. Oh my God. Excitement too bad. I want to love this letter even more because it's the Zion, which is seven, represents a flow, but not just a flow, but it represents fish. It represents influence. It also represents fullness, and fullness is fulfillment. It actually is the fulfillment of a prophetic word. When it comes to seven, it means that yes, it had reached its climax. And so God, in this particular in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. With those seven letters, He's saying, you know what? I have placed fulfillment in it. When you say fulfillment, the fulfillment of decrees that I have made. Now, remember Genesis 1:1, there's no decree made, nothing said. But what you saw, creation, you saw everything there. So what is he saying? In that verse has the fulfillment in Pampalimi. In other words, there are some prophetic things that finds its fulfillment in that verse. Or as a matter of fact, I started creation as a fulfillment. That's what it's saying. Creation itself is a fulfillment for me, but also for them. Who has believed our report? And to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? If the arm is not revealed, you would not know it. Who has believed our report? And to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? The report is something of the past. So this verse is saying that God did so many things already. The prophetic word is fulfilled now. Number 7 represents the fulfillment of prophecy. So the very fact that it has seven words in it, you know what it's saying? That every single decree in this book will come to pass. Let me say it again. Every single one of the decrees in this book, in this Torah, in this Tanakh, every single one of the decrees will come to pass because it is completion. It is 7. May I close by saying this to you? Every single thing God brought you into the world to do, according to Him, it's already done. Let me put it this way. Get with the program. Hit that subscribe button. Get with the program.